Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mind of the Madness podcast. Welcome back. And, when you're watching this, Happy New Year! Yeah. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all had a wonderful time, and everything was wonderful. Wonderful and woke. Yay. Wow. Oh. So, it's been pretty good. Obviously, we're recording this on the 31st, literally the final day. So this should be going up tomorrow. But, I'm meant to be going out with Marcus tonight. I think he wants to go out drinking. I obviously don't drink. So, do I stay inside, be nice and warm, and binge Fringe, or do I go out? I don't know. The choice is a very easy one. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll do that. But yeah, Christmas was nice. Got to spend it with family, being around peoples, and having a good time. So yeah, it's nice to be around the family for once instead of hating them. But, it was good. I got to see a lot of distant family that I haven't seen for a while. So, ew! But, yeah. It sounds gross. It wasn't good. Yeah, exactly. But, it was good. I enjoyed it a lot. What about you? What do you get up to? Wow. Oh, of course. Yeah. Putting on all the weight we lost all year. I have turned into the blob. I've turned into a lump of fudge. Just leaking constantly. Leaky fudge. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, in style. This is the style. But yeah, no, it'd be good. Christmas scruffs, yeah. I mean, I look scruffy because I've just fucking moved everything in my room around again, so that's why I look scruffy. But you don't look scruffy, you look good. Your hair's... What's your excuse, Sean? God. No, you look fine. You look lovely. You look wonderful. You're good. But, alright, well, should we get into the first thing then? Let's get the shitty news out of the way. We could do a little bit differently as well. We'll obviously highlight the stuff that's been going on recently, but we'll also talk about some of the biggest things that happened this year, and we'll kind of look back on them and see if our opinions changed at all from any of them. So we'll see. But yeah. Yep. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Science. Yeah. It's not great. Pardon me. then it'll be a problem. That's fair. Yeah. Well, for us anyway. because we don't need the services. But the moment we need them, we're fucked. Well, I did have one, which was when I came back from yours, when the rail strikes happened a day early, so that was fun. Again, I made my point clear on on stream with that one. Just go back and watch that. There's an entire 40-minute rant that I went on, so just go and watch that. But yeah, I mean, look, strikes are there for a reason. They're there to try and help, make it more aware of how bad these conditions are, to get job security and more pay and stuff. They are, they're a good thing, but I mean, obviously, I think everyone is slightly concerned, because especially when it comes to ambulances and stuff. I mean, the problem is the government aren't listening to them. So instead of the strikes then stop and the nurses and ambulance drivers come back and stuff, they've just brought the army in to fill the spaces, and it's like you've literally just negated the entire point of a democracy and being able to strike and have these rights. So I don't know. It's I don't know, scary times, but at the same time it's like I get it. Yeah. Yeah, I think sadly it is just one of those things. Yeah, there's that. Yeah. But I think the frustrating thing about it is the government finds the money for whatever they want, but then when it comes to actually paying other stuff, nothing happens. It's ridiculous. So yeah, I get why people are angry and probably want to strike and stuff, and I'm all for it. I'm all here for it. Just do it on the days you actually said you were going to fucking do it. Bunch of fucking plebs. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's yeah. Just to give a bit of context as to why I'm slightly salty on that part. Again, I'll link maybe the clip down below if people want to go and watch it. But essentially, when I came back from the lovely Shawns after a wonderful week up there, the strikes happened a day early, and it I get it. Strikes are important, but the way it happened, oh boy, fuck the lot of them. Fuck the lot of them. I hope. I think I said it on stream. It's a bit extreme, but I remember saying, I think because I was considerably quite angry because of what happened and what I'd seen. I said I would laugh at the irony of any of those train drivers that walked away that day that got hit by a train. I was quite angry. I obviously, yeah, quite extreme. Obviously, I don't believe that, but I think with what I saw, it was just. This is why you have certain days that you do the strikes, right? It's so people don't get hurt, and children were getting trampled on. Again, I'll leave the clip down below if you want to go and look at it. I'm not going to rehash it because it's fucking traumatic, but yeah, it's down below. Feel free to go and have a ganders if you want it. But yeah, I mean, not the best, but as far as I'm aware, most strikes are not that unorganised and don't start a day early, so I'm still all for strikes. Yeah. Yeah. Lot of dead people. A lot of dead. Yeah, I did hear. Fucking Jesus Christ, John. So he's dead. Let's move on. Oh no. Anyway. Oh no. Anyway. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, I know I make a lot of jokes about this stuff. It's simply because I'm not part of that. I don't believe it in it and stuff. But more power to people that do believe it. It's just a joke. Calm your tits. I'm sure he was a very respectable person, especially because he was very high up. And yeah, it is very sad. I think there was I did see in the news, wasn't it, the Pope that's currently, doing the rounds. He actually met up with him and asked for people to pray for him, didn't he? Because he said he was very unwell at the time. I think that was like a week ago. So I think people could see it coming, but I think it was just still a bit of a shock. So, yeah. Who would have thunk it? Death? A thing? Oh, yeah. Wait, you're telling me... Wait, Messi died? Hold on, I need to look this up. Wait. Let's have a look. Lionel Messi and Paul McGrath paid tribute. Oh, okay, wait. So there is a footballer that passed away, but it wasn't Messi. Legend gone. Pelé dead. Pelé. Messi tributed towards him. I was like, because for a second I was like, Messi was in the news for being listed as probably one of the greatest footballers in human history, but I don't recall him dying. No, it's so good. See, this happens. Hey guys, this shit happens. Okay, it's a lot of stuff to cover. It's a lot of news. Stuff goes wrong. Chill. Calm your tits. It's fine. We corrected it. No, he's fine. Messi's alright. Heel. Fucking hell. Jesus. Football fans angry. Alright. Yes, Peel. The legendary Peel died. Did Ronaldo go with him? But Ronaldo and Messi, the tributes as football legend, dies from cancer. So, yeah, they are part of the story. They're just not that part. It happens. It's been a long fucking week. It's been a long year. Let's just chalk it up to it's a long year. But yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Well, he can kick a football. Absolutely. And I mean, fashion, so important, right? Clearly, pinnacle of fashion, right here. Yeah, but it would have been nice to have had both of them maybe be talked about on the radio, not just fucking one. But I guess that just shows kind of where people's sort of attention is more geared towards, I guess. Which, again, I'm not shitting on that. That's perfectly fine. But, yeah, it's just a bit like, oh, alright then. Alright then, let's get into this. Why? Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Well, okay, sure. Then the entire royal family can be disbanded and they can fucking pay for all what their ancestor did, including creating slavery. Yeah, fuck off. Like, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. How is it anything to do with Benedict Cumberbatch what his fucking past relatives did? Like, it's so stupid. It's because he's rich and he has money. That's all they care about. Yeah, of course it would be. We all came from Romans and they were all bastards. So, I mean, the thing is, it's an interesting topic to talk about because there are a lot of people, I think, these days that do demand kind of like at least an apology from sort of the sections. So, you know, I brought the royal family up. A lot of the times when they've been asked just to apologise on what happened in the past with their, you know, ancestors and stuff, they've still not apologised. Oh my god, wait. What are you doing? There you go. There you go.
Hey, if it didn't record, I wouldn't be mad because I made a terrible mistake.
I think it only didn't pick up your audio for like 10 minutes. So you actually missed the problem, but that's fine. No,
that's all right.
That's fine. Yeah, at least we caught it early. We caught
it early.
But yeah, no, I mean, yeah. What's kind of your take on that then? Do you think, let's say that someone's relatives were a bigger part of like the slave industry and stuff, do you think they should apologise for it, or at least come forward and just say, look, I'm sorry.
I think it would be like, I don't know, if someone is upset and offended by it, then of course like it would be the polite thing to do to apologise. But I don't think they owe anyone an apology, really. No, because it wasn't them that did it themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, would I apologise for my great-great-great-grandfather calling someone a Nazi or something? Like, no, because that's nothing to do with me.
It's like, no, that's not my responsibility.
I know, it's like, move on with the times, people. Not everyone, when you're born, you don't inherit the thoughts and feelings of the person that you came from.
Yeah, it's stupid. I think that's probably one of the most controversial things from this year is like, I guess it comes into cancel culture as well. It's like, oh, well, if you're not going to apologise for relatives, then fuck you, get out of here. It's like, well, no. People change as well. We don't always believe the same things from when we're born to when we die. No. It's not like, you know, it's not like we get to 20 years old and we still think the only way we can get sustenance is sucking on our mum's tit. Like, that's... It's a very different world. So, you know, like, when you're a baby...
That isn't normal.
But you get what I mean, right? We change, we evolve. Like, that's just what humans do. We don't always believe the same stuff either. And, like, I think it's ridiculous that people expect an apology. I think when it comes to something like the royal family or people in government, I think there's a little bit more responsibility to apologise on behalf of the ancestors then, because it's like a respectful thing then, isn't it? It's like, hey, we have all this power, but here you go. Here's, even if it's not much, here's an apology for what has been done. We're sorry that all of this came from what our ancestors did. We promise to be better. But
it's a very kind of traditional constitution, I suppose, when your privilege and wealth is built on your ancestors.
Yeah.
And then I suppose it's slightly different. You would feel a sense of responsibility to not offend people any further than has already been done in the past. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just to be nice,
but,
man.
Yeah.
Just
for your average person, then no.
Just no.
Just no.
No.
Get over it.
Nice idea, doesn't work.
People have evolved.
Yeah. No, I mean, yeah. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, if there is any truth to that uni lad Benedict Cumberbatch situation, I think it's fucking stupid. Yeah. But there we are.
And one more thing I found in my travelling through feeds is apparently Greater Manchester GP Surgery sent out a text that was meant to be a Christmas text, but it actually informed people they had cancer.
Oh no!
It's one of those ones which is an extremely bad mistake,
and
everyone's like, how dare you laugh at such things because it's horrible.
I think it's fucking hilarious.
I was more surprised at the fact that they would send a text to someone telling them you've got cancer. Like, is that actually something that would happen? You've
got cancer.
Oh. Happy Christmas.
Merry Christmas, motherfucker. Like,
it's just...
Welcome to the NHS.
I think it only happened to like 100 or so people, so it was a small-scale problem. But quite a horrible one for the people receiving it.
Yeah, I mean... Yeah, that's not pleasant. Let's not fuck around.
No.
We can laugh at it. And to be fair, if I got a text like that from the NHS, I'd be like, fuck, it's not even the new year yet.
Myself.
I wouldn't. I'd be like, fuck, it's not even the new year yet, and I'm being diagnosed with something. Like, come on, at least give me a second, you know? But, I mean, yeah, I can understand why people may be upset or angry, especially if it's like a relative that got it, and they were maybe older relative, you know. I could see where the anger would come from then, but I mean, it's just another thing from the NHS that's gone wrong again. I mean, how much more needs to go wrong? Fucking the entire thing needs to collapse before anything else will happen. So yeah, it's a bit shit. But I mean, try and laugh at it. I mean, it's as scary as that would be. just try and laugh at it. It's something.
It's one of those things which, in hindsight, yeah, it's a little bit funny.
Yeah, at the time, I can see why people.
At the time, I suppose it probably wouldn't be. It's like when someone falls over. Of course, it isn't supposed to be funny, but it is funny.
No, it's always funny. if someone falls over, I'm sorry, I laugh. Like I'll make sure they're okay. Obviously, if they're okay, then that's fine. I'll laugh with it. But if they're hurt, then of course you're gonna help them. But you cannot tell me a small child running across like a street or something, holding an ice cream, trips and then hits himself in the face with it. You cannot tell me that's not funny. Yeah, it just is. You're an asshole.
Oh, I go help him.
Is the child okay? Yeah, he's just lost his ice cream. He's fine. Or she's fine. Like, it doesn't matter. It's fucking... Falling is funny.
Yes.
But, again, making sure that people are okay, of course. Yes.
Is also absolutely very important.
Yes, you can laugh at it, but make sure people are okay.
Laugh, but try and conceal that fact and go and help.
Try and just... Are you okay? But
yeah.
There we are. Yeah.
Did you have any more news stories?
I don't have any news stories, but we can go through some of the stuff that has happened this year and kind of maybe talk about that.
Yeah.
So, obviously, biggest thing I guess you could talk about this year is Russia invading Ukraine. Believe it or not, that happened at the beginning of this year. It was on February 24th that Russia sent troops into neighbouring Ukraine to start what has become clearly a very old war now.
Yeah.
So, I mean... A lot's happened in this nearly a year of this war being going on. I can't believe it started back in February. That's crazy. But I mean, the fact that Ukraine have still held out, they've still fought, but it's what's kind of our thoughts? Have our thoughts changed on that? I mean, probably not, but
I don't know. It feels like we've talked about it so much, and like a lot has happened, but also a lot hasn't happened. Where it's just been basically a stalemate, and Ukraine are just kind of got unlimited supply of ammunition and kind of weapons to use against them, so nothing is going to change really until one side kind of, it probably has to be Russia, doesn't it, to just kind of concede and kind of just allow some certain freedoms to Ukraine just to stop all this senseless violence.
A lot of innocent people.
I can't see anything happening anytime soon. I'm sure it's going to kind of wage out throughout 2023. Perhaps towards the end we will see some kind of softening from Russia.
I mean, there has been news that has obviously transpired that is Putin is clearly not very well, and a lot apparently, according to certain sources, in his little inner circle, are no longer on his side, and that means all of them, not just like one or two like it was in the beginning. All of them are now turning and being like, "We're not doing this for you anymore." So a lot of people are reckoning it's gonna stop soon. Obviously, I think everyone would prefer that. No one wants a war raging on anymore, especially Ukraine, and probably even the Russian people at this point. So, yeah, hopefully there'll be a swift end to this soon, and they can start rebuilding back up again and fucking get Putin out of there, man. Just, I don't know, why hasn't someone just shot him?
As more and more people start to realise what he's actually doing in Ukraine, then there'll be more of a kind of pressure building up.
Yeah.
And, we need more of that, but obviously brainwashed masses still on his side.
I mean, I think a lot of it now has changed because they've lost so many, Russia has lost so many troops and so many people, and it's such a different landscape to how they first started that, I'm not surprised that all of, Russian, kind of the inner circle and all the oligarchs and everything are starting to turn against him and be like, hey, this is a unwinnable war now. Can you just fucking go away? Give the power to someone else and go die quietly in your retirement home. I don't know. But yeah, it'll hopefully it'll end soon. I mean, obviously that would be the best outcome for everyone, right?
Oh yeah. Well, everyone's got everything crossed for that to happen, but be resilient, Ukraine. You can do it.
We're with you all the way.
We're with you. Get in there, my son.
Get in there, my son. Right, okay. Well, the second thing we could quickly talk about is obviously it's a bit more silly. Obviously serious for the people involved, but the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard face-off in court. That was this year too. Remember that?
Yeah. God, that was a great fictional TV series.
When's the Netflix adaptation coming out? But yeah, millions of people tuned in when actors Johnny Depp and Amber Heard faced off in court. The ex-couple sued each other for defamation after Heard claimed that Depp was physically abusive during their relationship after a 6-week trial. The jury largely sided with Depp, awarding him $10 million in compensation damages and $5 million in punitive damages. For Heard's countersuit, the jury awarded her $2 million in compensatory damages, but no money for punitive damages. So this was back in May.
Okay.
So this is, again, like, quite close to the beginning of the year. Doesn't feel like that. No. I don't know if it's just me. This year has fucking flown by. But obviously a lot has happened since this has gone through as well. Amber Heard has now lost a lot of roles. It's actually being talked about. Apparently there are whispers of Johnny Depp coming back to the Pirates of the Caribbean in 6. Even he won't be having his full role, but it'll be kind of like a cameo role. Apparently he has been asked to come back and do that. There's no sign on whether Johnny has said yes or no. Obviously he was adamantly against it for a while, but people can change. But obviously Amber Heard is in a very different position now. She's lost a lot of her roles.
She's basically melted off the face of the earth for now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Depp, he's kind of just gone off, just kind of trying to relax. But with Amber Heard, she's had a lot of problems. Apparently, about 2 weeks ago, the actual settlement was actually sorted. Finally, it was ended. So the defamation case with Johnny Depp has been over. I don't know what the outcome of that is. I haven't looked into it too much, but there was also some stuff for Johnny Depp. Apparently, he did have a movie axed by a streaming company that it was meant to come out.
Right.
It didn't. But this is the thing, I think, that's going to be constantly happening between these two, and unfortunately it's going to be a dark cloud over both of them for a very long time, is that some companies are going to side with Amber, some are going to go with Johnny, some are going to take neither side, but that means work with neither. So,
yeah.
I don't kind of... What's kind of your thoughts? Has your thoughts changed since we talked about this at the beginning of the year, or...
No, not really. It's just a shame, like, for both of them, I suppose, about the dark cloud thing, kind of tarring both of them. But I feel like with this whole thing at the start was, Johnny Depp is more popular with fans and stuff, and you'd be an idiot to not think that was true throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was a completely fair fight to start with, even though it was shitty of Amber to kind of accuse him of this thing when I think everyone knows, may have been the other way around or whatever. But I feel like he's going to kind of get his head above the clouds soon, whereas she is just kind of vanish into the abyss. And companies choose between both. I think the financial reasons for choosing Johnny far outweigh the reasons for choosing Amber.
I mean, especially
so it is a little bit of that kind of corporate side of it, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah. I mean, especially considering that Amber Heard was already dropped from Aquaman 2 a couple of months back, and they've cut all those scenes out apparently. So, but I mean,
slightly feel for her, but because it's just unfortunate that Johnny is such a star with everyone. Everyone loves him, including myself.
I think that's one thing I've definitely changed on it. I mean, obviously when it was going on, I was heavily Johnny, but when I look back on it now, I think there are certain things with Johnny Depp. Of course, the drugs, the alcohol, that's still not okay.
He didn't seem like a pleasant person to be around.
No, he did seem like he was coping badly with everything. Not just with, obviously, if Amber was being abusive as well, that's obviously not going to help someone who's in a dark place anyway. But drugs, alcohol, smashing stuff up, it's still, he may not have been physically harmful toward Amber, but I'm sure he had his moments as well where he was probably not the greatest partner as well. I'm not trying to clear Amber at all. I am still adamantly against the fact that Amber was more in the wrong, but I'm not saying Johnny was completely innocent either, because I can imagine drugs, alcohol, it's going to mess with your head, and you're not going to be clearest in your judgments. As you said, I think I think it's a shame on both, because Amber Heard, I mean, before all of this shit came out, I can't lie, I think she's an okay actor. I don't think she's anything spectacular, but I think she's pretty good, and she can do certain roles very well. But yeah, as you say, Johnny Depp is the bigger pull. He's obviously the one that companies are going to probably turn to more. But, I mean, again, if companies are still dropping his films from streaming services because, Johnny Depp was accused of being a wife beater, which again, never proven, but it's still used against him. I mean, yeah, it's a tricky one. I think both of us could agree on this. Any time there is kind of any legal lawsuit like this kind of stuff, why is it televised? Why is it shown to the world? It should be private.
Yeah, it's
right?
just the
that's not
Hollywoodification of it all.
Yeah, it's like, that's not just me, right? It's like, it's the same with like the legal stuff that happened with like Andrew, who was part of the royal family, all that stuff was kept secret. Why is it not done like that? Like, what the fuck?
Different states, well, different countries, different rules, I suppose. But actually, I never understood
yeah.
the US system of televising it all. Well,
Yeah.
or recording it all. I think this one just especially was televised.
Yeah. I mean, this one I think
like
was televised because it was
drama.
two big actors, wasn't it? And Johnny Depp is one of the biggest actors in the world, so it was like, how much drama can we make out of this? And I think that's the stupid thing about it, is it doesn't matter who you are, this stuff should stay private, and then that's it. Because otherwise, how are you meant to... Because that's one thing I think we said this while we were talking about it as well, is how can you have an unbiased jury when there's so much like news coverage on it?
I know.
It's not possible.
It's
so,
impossible.
Yeah.
So Amber's lawyers did have a point with that.
Puppy!
No, baby.
Oh, we have a guest.
We have a special
guest. We have Lola this time.
She was absent from the previous one.
Yeah.
There's stuff in here.
Oh. But yeah. So, a couple more things we could talk about.
Yeah.
The Supreme Court overruling Roe v. Wade. You know, because we've gone back 100 years where women don't have rights. So, yeah. So, yeah, the US Supreme Court overruled Roe v. Wade in what became one of the court's most consequential decisions in decades. The court's consecutive majority ruled in June that abortion is not a consensual right, which leads to abortion bans in more than a dozen states. Justice Clarence Thomas implied in a concurrent ruling that the court could review other constitutional rights, like same-sex marriage and access to birth control. Because America, the greatest place on earth.
The land for free.
So, yeah, I can't... This happened back in June. I do remember talking about this and making a lot of questionable quality.
Yeah, it's just a terrible kind of thing, isn't it? But I think any women who are going to be, like, deciding those kind of things will just move states anyway.
And, I mean,
so,
the thing
thankfully, it's not a countrywide.
But I think the scary thing about it is that the people that can't do that maybe can't travel because they haven't got the money.
Yeah, it is terrible.
By the way, this also covers, you know, the R word and incest. Which means that if you get pregnant from either of those, you have to keep it. That's foul. Like, I don't know. Why, I can't quite understand how America is meant to be the greatest country in the world, yet they're going backwards. The same as every other country, but all in different ways. It's very strange.
It's one of those just things that are just baffling, and people at the top need to sort their heads out with that.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, disgusting. I mean, fuck the Supreme Court for doing something so vile and taking away women's rights. I don't quite understand how you got there, but sure. I thought we were going forward. But all right, yeah, stupid, and my opinion's not changed on that.
Yeah, there's an interesting thing in films that I've got where it comes to like kind of women's rights and things like that. So that'll be interesting.
That will be interesting. Not too many more that we can go through. I mean, for this year, but I mean, there's a couple of big ones for Britain. So should we go back over the pond to us? Boris Johnson resigning.
Hooray! Next.
And then Liz Truss destroying the economy. And now we've been left with Rishi Sunak.
Where's Rishi?
Yeah, he's fucked off pretty quickly, isn't he? But yeah.
Quick.
Fucking so stupid. Boris Johnson resigning. Yeah, British Prime Minister Boris Johnson resigned his... Yeah, you mentioned Boris. The dogs don't like him.
Stop it.
Resigned his position in July after a series of personal scandals and ethical lapses. Yeah, don't say. But yeah. So that was actually early September.
Oh, yeah.
That feels longer.
Well, it feels like a decade ago, doesn't it? It's just it feels like so much politically has happened since then. But
I mean, he's just a fucking pillock. Same as Liz Truss, all the Conservatives are, all Labour are as well. Nothing's changed. Like we talk about this all the time. Our government is useless. They don't do anything. So
problems are just kicked down the road.
Yeah, and then they just ignore everything that could possibly make it better. But the best thing that could have happened was Liz Truss fucking off. But I mean, she destroyed the economy first. So cheers for that, Liz. The worst recession the UK has ever seen. Great job, you thick fuck. And then Boris breaking his own rules and laws.
She was in and out so fast, people didn't even realise that her second name was Truss, not Trust.
She fucked off pretty quickly.
People didn't even get a chance to learn her name.
Yeah, but so America, you might be your government might be incompetent and taking women's rights away.
They stick around.
Our government just destroys everything and then fucks off. So we're in the same boat, just for different reasons. But yeah, on to a bit of it is a sadder note that something that did happen this year back in September on the 8th, Queen Elizabeth passed away. So that is something very sad that happened this year. Obviously then we got transferred over to having the king, and I mean, it was a sad day despite my feelings on the royals, and I do have particular feelings. I do think that the Queen was very much a symbol of hope and generosity and kindness. She was definitely, it felt like she was more connected with people than, kind of any of the others. So yeah, I think a huge loss for the UK, and definitely a day of mourning for
our period of grief seems like it's over when it comes to that. So we're kind of just getting to grips with our new king, and people are kind of accepting that. But yeah, she left a good legacy. It's nice to at the King's speech at Christmas. It's nice to hear him pay homage to her a little bit.
Homage.
So that was nice. But it just definitely feels like a bit of a fresh start now. Bit of a fresh start, but
Definitely. I mean, what did you think of his speech on Christmas Day? Because I remember watching it, and do you know what? I actually thought he did pretty well. I think he did really good.
He respected our time because it was only like 4 minutes long.
Yeah, well, he respected our time, but he was also very
concise.
Yeah, concise to the point. Like, didn't beat around the bush. Well, I mean, that wouldn't be legal on TV at that time anyway, but he did.
Actually, talking about his grandma.
His mum, yeah. But, I mean, look, I think he did a very good job of his first speech, and quite frankly, I've grown quite, and I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but I've grown quite disconnected from the Queen's speeches and the royal speeches and stuff, but this one was good. I approve.
Yeah.
I approve.
I do apologise. You hear Robbie barking for There's just complete silence in the house, so every little noise she just goes mad. I don't know what's going on.
Roxy, chill, man. Chill.
Just toast that over.
But yeah, shall we move on to films and stuff then? Let's move on a little.
There's a smattering of interesting things. I don't actually have any particular interesting things later on, but there's a smattering of them throughout the whole thing. So
exciting.
That is,
Yeah. So, what have we been watching, and and then we'll get into what our favourite stuff was for the year, I guess. But
well, I've been watching House of Dragons on Now TV. I finished it off the other day. I would recommend the first 4 episodes to people, but it just went to shit after that. I didn't quite enjoy the ending and the final couple of episodes. It just felt like Game of Thrones light, and all the kind of insignificant things that happen in Game of Thrones that are mildly interesting were the main things in this series.
That's fair.
I would say the characters kind of dragged it along, but they changed them halfway through. So you don't really, as soon as you get used to one actor or actress in one part, then they're changed to an older version of themselves who perhaps isn't as good. And then they're constantly introducing new characters in that you're supposed to give a shit about when they die, but you don't.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm a bit disappointed by that series. That's coming from someone who didn't actually finish the actual full Game of Thrones series. I only got to like season 6 or so.
Yeah.
But yeah, it makes me want to go back and watch Game of Thrones fully to the end, and maybe make up my own opinion of the ending, because we know what people are like when it comes to endings.
Yeah. Lost was great. You're all wrong.
You are all wrong.
Yeah.
But so I'll definitely try and make up my own opinion watching Game of Thrones in its totality.
Yes.
My God, it's getting dark.
I know already. What the fuck?
God damn it.
God damn it. But yeah, no, fair enough.
What have you been watching?
Well, we got through Lie to Me season 2. We managed to finish that off, which was good. I think we both enjoyed it. We're now trying to get through Fringe series 2. I believe we're on. Was it 3? No, 2.
2.
2. Yeah, we're just finishing 2 off now, which is fantastic, by the way.
We'll get on to Lie to Me season 3.
Yeah. One thing that we watched over yours was Krampus.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. I enjoyed that. It was quite a surprising one, actually. I didn't think I'd enjoy it as much as I did, but it was good.
Yeah. It's nice Christmas film for those who don't enjoy your typical
Yeah, nice
Nicey picey
horror. Nice horror.
Yeah. We don't often get horror Christmas films, so it's nice change of pace.
Nice change of pace there. I managed to finish off Cabinet of Curiosities by Guillermo del Toro on Netflix. That was really good, actually. I approve. There was, I think, the last episode with Andrew Lincoln was it was good, but it was probably the slowest and probably the least scary out of them all. So
yeah,
it was all right. But other than that, the rest of them were actually pretty solid from start to finish. Some pretty disgusting scenes. So, but yeah, very well made, very well done.
I do like Guillermo's vision.
Yeah, well, I mean, he wrote all the stories and stuff based on like short stories, I think, from the past. So, I mean, he did a fantastic job, as well as all the directors that worked on the series. So, apparently, season 2 is, I would say, it's probably a guarantee.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see.
Well, I just about 20 minutes ago, well, about half an hour ago, I finished Knives Out. First one. I very much enjoyed it, actually. I can't believe I left it so long to watch it. But it's,
how dare you?
Nice murder mystery, kind of spy espionage kind of thing.
Yeah.
All set in a house. And it's some great performances. Daniel Craig and Chris Evans, of course, and Jamie Lee Curtis and stuff.
Yeah.
I recommend it. It's very funny as well, so you'll get a nice laugh out of it.
The second one's
light-hearted
as well.
I saw the trailer for that one. I was like, I gotta watch this.
Yeah, I really want to watch Glass Onion, so I might watch that tonight actually, just to see in the new year. But yeah, very good.
Watch Dave Bautista in his Budgie Snuggles. See in the new year.
But no, I agree with you. It's definitely a very good film, and it's done very well. And hearing Daniel Craig with that accent and doing kind of like a detective.
Yeah,
it's like a nice change.
What the fuck is that accent to start with, but then you get used to it.
Oh yeah, you like it then. And you're like, okay, I'm with this. I'm with
it. I'm behind you, Daniel.
I watched Bullet Train, Brad Pitt's Bullet Train that came out this year. Do you know what? Surprisingly good, considering it's based off of, I believe, the original one was done, I think it's Japanese or Korean, I'm not too sure. But from what I remember, that one's really good. And this one didn't disappoint. It was very, very good. Brad Pitt does good in it. You know, a lot of great actors. A lot of smaller actors as well, which is kind of nice. But they all did a fantastic job in the film. And it's very fun to watch from start to finish. Especially Brad Pitt's character. Just himself is just very funny.
I do like the films with a sense of fun in them.
Yeah. It doesn't take itself too seriously, which is a big plus for the film in itself. So...
Yeah. Well, one I watched very recently, literally within a matter of days, which I forgot to write down for some reason, is I Want to Dance with Somebody, Whitney Houston.
I want to dance with somebody.
I watched that at cinema. It was very good. Nice kind of depiction of her life. I was surprised I enjoyed it as much as I did. Obviously, for the people who just want this music and stuff, that'll satisfy you. But there's kind of a deep story in there as well, which maybe I wasn't too familiar with. So.
Yeah.
But it was nice to kind of learn the full story of what they're documenting in the film. But yeah, it was nice, really nice thing to watch. Brought a smile to one's face and also sadness. Because I think to start with, I was just like, oh, another celebrity addict crack. But then you kind of learn the pressures and the reasons why, and the influences and the massive weight on the shoulders and stuff, and you kind of go, okay, yeah, the meat on the bones here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would recommend that one to anybody who's interested in Whitney Houston, or yeah,
right then.
or wants to treat their mothers to Whitney Houston film like I did.
That's fair.
Came for the songs, stayed for the story.
Came for the songs, I stayed for the story.
So yeah, that's a good one. Not usually my cup of tea, but good.
Yeah, fair play. I will have to maybe look into that one, because that's not normally my cup of tea either. But we do have.
It's one of those ones. If you happen to come across it, then you won't be disappointed.
Oh, that's good. I watched Spirited with Ryan Reynolds and Will Ferrell. That was good. Good Christmas
the animated
film.
one.
No, it was it's like a live action Christmas one that came out. I think it's on Apple TV. But it was very, very good, actually. I enjoyed it a lot. Very funny, lots of good moments. An interesting way of telling the Christmas Carol story. But But yeah, no, it was fantastic. It was really, really good, and I enjoyed it. So
Okay.
Can't grumble at that. I would highly recommend that one to people.
Ever since seeing Will in Elf, I don't think anything can really topple it. But get down, baby. Get down.
I don't know. Spirited was close for me. But
yeah, I'll have to give it a watch, but I feel like it's kind of too late now. Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. I also watched a film called Basket Case, back from an old horror film from the 1980s. Interesting film. So the premise is that without giving too much away, this guy is always carrying around a basket. It has like this creature in it, and he's trying to like live his life along with looking after this thing. There's a lot of campy moments like back from the 80s. Like the 80s writing in horror is not great, but it's for what it is. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It was a fun watch. But then I like horror, so that's regardless of how old it is, I'm always going to enjoy it. So but yeah, that I watched, and then House season 2 I also finished. So I'm on season 3 of House, which I am thoroughly addicted to, and I can't stop watching it. I love Hugh Laurier's House. He's fantastic, and yeah, he has that British charm of just sarcasm and not giving a shit. So
that is one I need to get into at some point.
Yeah, oh no, we're watching House. We're definitely watching House at some point. It's definitely a bingeable one. So
yeah.
But
well, a kind of interesting one that I haven't watched the entire thing, but I've heard a lot about it. It's caused a lot of controversy or kind of appreciation of this issue is and Hollyoaks did like a special called like Maxine's Long Walk Home, in which a girl called Maxine kind of walks home from a night out and is kind of faced with a lot of issues that is very relatable. Women who have kind of experienced that kind of awful experience of walking home from a night out on your own. I mean, I watched it, and as a man, I can relate to some of the like issues that he faced. Obviously, you don't want to be kind of on your own and walking through a park and stuff like that. But I feel like a lot of the decisions he made in this film were kind of very unusual and kind of not what any sane person would do. Let's walk through a park on my own. Let's refuse a lift from girls in a taxi because oh no, I don't want to put them out. Like maybe that is more relatable to different people, but I didn't really buy some aspects of it. I know it's kind of made that way to kind of be even more shocking, and it builds an even more sense of dread with this girl. But it sent out a meaningful message, I think, and raised awareness of things that women have to go through, and perhaps would they be more scared and more frightened in certain situations. And as a man, like being on a bus late at night on your own, maybe you wouldn't think twice about it as a man, but as a woman it can be very intimidating. But yeah, what are your thoughts about the whole kind of idea of it? And I think people are always aware of it, but they don't necessarily see it in that way.
I think it's I agree with that. I think that it's definitely something that's there, but I think a lot of people are quite ignorant to it, especially like if you're I hate to put it into genders and stuff, but if you're a guy, if you're a bloke, and you have female friends, you are not going to have a clue how much crap they go through, probably on a daily basis. So ask them, talk to them about it, and you suddenly realise, fuck me, I've been ignorant for a while. So I would absolutely say that, I agree 100%. It's definitely something that's not talked about enough, and it's probably more prominent than people are aware of.
But I mean, I think I was watching some kind of, it was a goggle box or something, and then they were like reacting to it, and then like all the men on there was like, I'm ashamed of my gender. Why are we like this? I just kind of think, that makes me cringe a little bit, because number one, we're not all men are monsters, which is the message that is being kind of promoted by this. And just like, I mean, I myself don't associate with any men who would wolf whistle at a woman like walking down the street on her own. Like, I don't know if any of your friends would do it, but I mean, I can distance myself from that kind of toxic behavior.
I think that the scary thing is probably over the last couple of years, after kind of looking back on it and stuff, there have been people and guys that I've known that have been like that, and I'm not friends with them anymore, but that for other reasons. But when I look back on it, I'm like, Jesus Christ, that is, I mean, one stands out quite prominent to me. I'm not going to name the person, but they maybe they like smacked girls' asses without permission, and even when they were told not to do that, they still did it, and
it would instantly make me want to distance myself from
very inappropriate behaviour and actions with people. And it's important when you see stuff like that to call them out on it. And I had many conversations with this person to try and help them and be like, look, stop fucking doing this, and they wouldn't. So yeah, off they fucked. I got rid of them. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely something that is prominent, and if you really, I think especially in a lot of men, I think not very fully aware of it. Talk to your friends, talk to your female friends and your male friends, and make sure that people aren't being like that. The more
and please, if you're going on a night out,
behave.
Have a plan B, plan C.
Yeah.
And of getting home, you don't want to be left on your own.
And be
it's
sensible.
A terrible situation to be in.
It's disgusting.
As a man or a woman.
Yeah, I mean, it's disgusting regardless at the fact that it's even a thing, but the realism of it is that there are people out there that are scum, and they do shit like that, so...
And I think most people would be willing to help if they saw someone in that situation, so don't be afraid to, reach out to, someone of authority or a figure that you can trust.
Definitely.
There's no pride in walking home on your own and, risking your life.
Definitely. It's... risky.
No one's going to be put out.
No, exactly.
It could potentially be saving your life.
Yeah, you could be keeping yourself as safe as humanly possible, and that's what you want to be doing, so make sure you do that.
But that was just a little smattering of interest there.
Oh, yes.
Is there any more film things you would like to talk about?
Well, there's a little bit of news, and then we can sort of talk about maybe our favourite films of this year, but the little bit of news, I guess, is Henry Cavill was dropped as Superman. Even though being promised that he would be coming back to play him. He got dropped again. So Dwayne Johnson's been getting a lot of heat, not in the good way. People have been ripping him apart, saying that he just used Henry Cavill and baited him in, and it's the same thing with the Fast and Furious franchise. He used them just to grow out a brand, and then he fucked off straight away because he couldn't handle it. And so I mean, it's been a bit of an interesting thing for Henry Cavill, and I feel for him, man. He had his dream role in The Witcher, and then they butchered that, so he left. Then went back to something he thought he was going to get, didn't get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he
ever assume.
I think he's been offered to be a producer and an actual co-creator of a 40k series, so Warhammer series now for Amazon, which is cool. I'm all for that. If he, especially since he is
he does a lot of gaming stuff, doesn't he?
Yeah, he loves gaming. I think the way he describes it, I hate that people still describe people who love games and stuff as nerds. It's so stupid.
Oh yeah, well it's catchy, isn't it?
It's just the thing.
It's label, makes people in a category, but it's also very catchy and people like to use it.
I don't approve of the label, but I'm going to use it briefly here just to be able to fucking specifically.
Yes.
But yes, people who are nerds, he is a massive nerd. No. He loves talking about games. He loves being very loyal to source materials, and I think it's gonna. I hope it does him well. If it does,
someone that attractive cannot be labelled nerd. I'm afraid.
Yeah, look at him.
Yeah.
Come on.
The nerd doesn't get the girl at the end of the day. Okay.
And that man is thirsted by everybody. So yeah.
But that's just my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, it's. Yeah, so hopefully the future looks good for him, and Netflix can suckle one. I mean, apparently the new
He's
Witcher...
not been involved in much controversy. I'm sure he'd be fine.
Witcher Blood Origin has been panned by everybody, which is hilarious.
I didn't realise that was even a thing.
It's crap. I watched half an hour. I didn't need any more because it was just woke shit. So I dropped it.
Monsters.
And it's not even with monsters, that's the problem. It's labelled fucking Witcher. There isn't even a sodding Witcher in it. Oh, but it's the prequel to how they made the fuck off.
No.
It's garbage. The woman who is the showrunner for The Witcher, fuck off. Take your team with you, and Netflix, get someone in who gives a shit about the source material, because this dumb bitch has fucking ruined it. I'm sorry, but she has. And if it was a bloke that had ruined it, I'd be calling him a dumb bitch too. I don't give a shit about your gender. You're crap at your job, fuck off. It's simple as that. Who gives a fuck about wokeness? It's so stupid. It's the same with Marvel. They fucked it into the ground this year by being all woke and fucking, we're down with the people. No, you're morons. And you've done a shit job at looking after your material. First season of The Witcher, excellent. Oh, pure gold. Second season, dear God, what have you done? The third season was so bad, Henry Cavill left his dream role. Like, what?
Will be interesting to see, what is it, Hemsworth that's going to take over?
I do not see season 4 happening. That is how bad Blood Origin has been received. I don't see it happening. And if season 3 is anything to go off, like if it's even close to what Blood Origin was, or the second series, it will get panned. Netflix will cancel it. Because it's not worth it. You're losing a bunch of people who care because you fucking butchered it. Like, you don't care. And if you don't care about it, it's the same with the Resident Evil series they did. That was garbage. I'm like, can people stop just butchering the source material? Just give people what they want. The source material. Like, it's really not hard.
Last of Us.
Oh fuck! If that's butchered, I'm gonna be so angry. But the cast looks damn good.
Yeah.
So
how can they butcher it? And it's got Neil Druckmann's seal of approval. So yeah.
Well, I have my opinions.
Does that really mean much these days?
I have my opinions on Neil. I have my opinions on Neil. I don't think he's a bad creator because clearly he made Last of Us 1, Last of Us 2, despite what people thought. I loved it. I thought it was good. I think it was a bit long, but it's a bit too long. But and it had some questionable things. but
questionable elements.
Yes, but no, I think it was an excellent game, probably an 8 out of 10. But yeah, I mean Neil. The way he treated people online after the second one came out, a little bit sus there, my guy. Yeah, need to behave a bit more. You need to be professional. As hard as it is, I get it. Your thing you've created and put time into and seen the team work on. I can understand it's very anger-inducing to see people just rip it apart or call it woke or anything like that. You have to be professional.
Yeah.
You were not. So, yeah, but. Yeah, I'm excited for the Last of Us, though. That does look very, very good. And especially Pedro Pascal.
I know, yeah. Can't really go too wrong with that, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, they literally just have to copy the game, surely.
And I mean, the clickers...
Put a few more twists on it.
They look good. I mean, in the trailer, it looks good, so I'm like, ooh, okay. All right, I'll take it.
Oh, that means some clicker.
Right, but I thought we could talk about some of the films that we've seen this year that came out this year.
Yeah.
So the first one we'll start off with, I guess, the obvious one, Scream. The Scream film came out this year. I thought it was last year that it came out, but yeah, it was very early on this year apparently. So
and the next one's coming out quite soon.
So yeah, what did we think of that? Because obviously I only saw it recently with you, but you being the Scream,
I loved it. Well, to be fair, loved it because it's a Scream film.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had some issues with, maybe some of the casting and some of the fact that it was probably suffered from the COVID effect of, not having this big scope.
Yeah.
And kind of rehashing things, but although you could put that down to it being, a requel and that's the intent of it. So enjoyed it because it was a Scream film and I am looking forward to the second one, but ultimately it's not my favourite amongst the Scream films.
Yeah. Obviously we had Halloween Ends.
Yeah,
you saw
which
that.
I surprisingly liked.
I still
sea of hate.
So, but that's the thing. That's what everyone sees things differently. Now, interesting one: Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake that Netflix did.
Okay.
So, to try and reboot it, I remember watching that. That was.
I quite enjoyed it when I was watching it.
Yeah, I thought it was alright. I think a few moments of annoyance, kind of like do anything and you're cancelled, bro. Like, oh, just. Why is that necessary?
The humour was a bit.
Yeah, the humour in it was utter shit. But I thought it was okay. I thought it was okay.
Decent tension and it was all right. I mean, not the best of the Texas Chainsaw kind of films.
Definitely not. Remake. But it was okay. I take it. I solid 5 because I enjoyed
it on a dark, gloomy Halloween night.
Yeah, I give it a solid 5. The action pieces were very cool, like seeing the fight scene in the bedroom between that guy and Leatherface. Like that was cool. I think they did a good job with it. I didn't hate it. I'd say it was okay. Like it's nothing special, but good little slasher to watch if you're bored.
It's okay. Yeah.
The Batman. I've yet to see this yet. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I've yet to see it.
I've got it on.
Raves about it.
I've literally got it. It's sitting right there. I need to watch it. like, I
I
bought
need
it
to watch
ages
it,
ago.
but I just can't spare 3 hours.
It's a long film. Yeah, so.
I don't know how long it is. I'm exaggerating there.
3 hours? No.
It's
It's 3 hours.
Oh, it's okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Samaritan, kind of the superhero one that Sylvester Stallone brought out on Amazon Prime.
Never heard of it.
I remember watching it. It was okay. Again, solid like 5 or 6 maybe. Like it was all right. It was Sylvester Stallone being a superhero. Interesting plot twist, which I thought
too
was
old
kind
to
of
be a
cool.
superhero.
Well, that's the interesting part. So, yeah, no, I mean, it was okay. I enjoyed it for what it was. You know, mindless action and stuff, I guess.
I mean, if he can't be Rambo anymore, how can he be a superhero? I don't know.
Yeah, it's true.
He's a wise mentor.
Yeah. But any films that you watched this year that...
yeah, probably one of my favourites, Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness. I think that came out this year.
Yep, I think so.
So I'd say that hits probably the top of the list with the kind of when it comes to favourites, I suppose. Because of the whole Sam Raimi style, and I loved the kind of ideas and cinematography and the lighting and all the kind of the music, and it just felt like a really nice, enjoyable film, which is well up my street.
Well up my
as far as a Marvel movie, I'm sure it's disappointing in some ways, but I can let that go because I quite enjoyed the story anyway.
Yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was, and I thought the effects were really good. I thought it was very well acted.
Minus the third eye.
Yeah, that third eye part was cheap as fuck. But
yeah, they were cheaped out on that.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, it was okay. I think the story was a bit lackluster, but I think you could say that with anything from Marvel recently.
Yeah, a bit overlong and drawn out.
Yeah, I think. But Sam Raimi just knows how to work a camera. He knows how to bring that kind of horror element to stuff, which again played really well with it. So.
Yeah, and I liked the kind of some comedy elements in it. It's not in your face like Thor: Love and Thunder and Guardians of the Galaxy. It's more kind of subtle.
That's one we can talk about. Thor: Love and Thunder. Dear God, that fucking film is bad.
Yeah, well, yeah, that I was quite vocal in the fact that I didn't really like it.
Yeah, I mean, I think when I first watched it, I thought it was okay, but now it's pretty shit. It's really awful.
Interesting ideas which they didn't expand upon, which I hoped they would, but they didn't. And cheesy, horrible humor, which just felt like so far away from Thor Ragnarok that it was just
I think Thor Ragnarok was lightning in a bottle. And then Thor: Love and Thunder was garbage. I mean,
fart in a bottle.
I love, literally, it was just a fart in a jar. It was like playing Saints Row the Third and throwing a fart in a jar at someone. I don't know. Taika Waititi's kind of lost his sort of special touch, I guess, with it. He found this golden mine with Thor, and I think he just keeps doing the same thing over and over and over now. Like, I love Free Guy when that came out. I think Free Guy came out last year. But I remember watching that and thinking Taika Waititi did a great job in the film, like starring in it. And although he played an arsehole, I thought he did it very well. But now that's all he does. He just does the same thing now, and his directing is showing that as well.
Pony.
Yeah, he's a one-trick pony. And I think especially with Thor: Love and Thunder, it was just all about, hey, look how woke we are. And again, I hate that fucking word. It's such a stupid way to describe something, but it just does. It describes it. It's like, how much can we stuff into one film so that we're hitting every agenda, so everyone
gets it. Like, we have to be fair and inclusive to everyone, and no one would disparage that, I don't think.
No, of course not. Yeah.
But it's when certain things are thrown in your face for characters where it's not even relevant to even mention.
No.
Then I don't know.
You're
just seems a bit like
it. Yeah, you're overloading it with unnecessary crap, which is taken away from what could be possibly a good film.
Focus that time on building interesting story and backstory for certain other characters, which helps develop the plot of the film and the villain.
Yeah. I mean, you want an example of that? Prey. The new Predator film that came out this year that was called Prey. That didn't have... I don't think that had any, like, generic white human people. I think it was all native people, and it was fucking brilliant from start to finish. Yeah. At least in my opinion, right? I get some people weren't a fan of it. That's fine. Yeah. But for me, I loved that film. And it had a strong female protagonist. Look at that. They did it without having to ram it down my throat. Come on. It's not hard to do. Like, Alien. Fucking brilliant film from the past. Like, strong female protagonist. Like, people are I think people are so obsessed with trying to hit every single checkbox now that modern entertainment it's just failing across the board. The Witcher, Resident Evil, fucking Thor: Love and Thunder, Marvel themselves have even admitted that
She-Hulk.
yeah, well, Marvel themselves have even come forward now and said going into Phase 5. Yeah, they're going into Phase 5 with the same sentiment they did with Phase 1, 2, 3, and 4, but without the 4.
Go back.
Because it was shit. Phase 4 is quantity over quality, and that's where the problem is now. They would rather make a shit ton of things that are garbage or
Which
average.
it kind of started off well with some of the series, but then it kind of slowly just...
Like Loki, for instance, right? That had some moments where I was a bit like, oh, Jesus Christ. But I liked it overall. It was a fantastic show.
It was kind of unique.
Yeah. WandaVision was a bit difficult to get through the first 5 episodes, but once you got through that...
Once you kind of clicks, doesn't it? It's kind of more artistic way of doing it, which is nice.
Yeah, and it worked. And that's the thing. At the start of it, I loved it. And now, I won't even go near anything they've made. Because it's just, I mean, maybe the
What
films.
about Jennifer Lawrence saying she was the first female action hero? She needs to give her head a wobble, I think.
I think she needs to stop looking at a fucking colon constantly. She needs to ram her head out of there. Look, she was very, very good in the Hunger Games. I'm not...
Oh, yeah.
Let me make this clear. I think she's a fantastic actor. I do. I think she's a fantastic actor, actress, whatever you want to fucking go with. I think she's brilliant. I think she is fantastic in a lot of films other than the Hunger Games as well. Passengers, she was amazing in that. There was, I think, what was it called? The Red Line or Red Alert. The Mother, another great film. Like, she's done some fantastic films and she always nails it and hits it out of the park every time. Don't be so fucking arrogant. Like,
to be honest, I don't think I haven't actually heard the words come from lips. I don't know if it's been exaggerated through word of mouth.
Probably.
Or taken out of context.
I mean,
so,
I think I saw something on this, like she made a comment or something, I wasn't too sure what the comment was, and people were like, oh, how dare you. Like, yeah, she's a great action star. You weren't the first. Not even fucking close.
Simple as that.
Not even fucking
Sigourney
close.
Weaver, you know.
Yeah, you're a great action star. You're a great action star. You ain't that fucking good.
Do not get ahead of yourself.
Don't be an ignorant bitch, because that will get you fucked. Because the one thing, this is another problem that actors seem to have, is the one thing you do not want to do is alienate the people that watch you, your fans,
too big
the
for your
people that
boots.
care. Yeah, you fuck them off, they're not going to watch anything you're in, even if you do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, don't be such an ignorant bitch. Like, come on. But
Freddy Krueger is coming up today.
Bitch. Yeah, but yeah, look, fantastic actress, but don't be an ass. But
yeah.
Anywho, shall we move on?
What was your favourite film of 2022?
Favourite film? That is.
Violet Night was also among the best.
Yeah, Violet Night was definitely amongst the best. What was my favourite film? Oh god, that is a fucking tricky one. So I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying not to just think of the most recent ones that I've seen.
I know, yeah, it is hard. Like, I literally just thought of Doctor Strange with him when you were talking about.
I mean, I liked Death of the Nile, despite a lot of people fucking not liking it, but I liked it. If I'm being probably a close number one contender, it's probably Violent Night. Despite the fact that it was a more recent one that I saw. I mean, and it's fresh in my mind.
I want to go for the one that isn't the most recent.
I know, but it's there. It's true. When I really think about
it.
It was a fucking fantastic slasher for the film. And I liked the kind of different take they took on Santa Claus. And again, David Arbor, he did a fantastic job. And it was very well choreographed. Lots of fighting. Good humour.
Entertaining. To its peak.
Knew exactly what it was. Didn't try to be anything that it wasn't. Which is probably why I enjoyed it so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I had to choose
Good
one,
shout.
that one, Violent Night, would probably be my favourite. Followed closely by Dog, which is what Channing Tatum did.
I didn't see
that was a good one. That's on Amazon Prime. That's a very, very good film.
I saw a trailer for Magic Mike 2 when I was watching Winnie. How gay can I get?
I really want to watch that film. I'm a fan of the first two films. So I'll admit it. I like them. They're awful, but I enjoy them. So
I haven't actually seen them, so
yeah,
I have to add that to my watch list.
They get me hot and flustered. Right.
You still got that bard.
Yeah. What was your most disappointing film then? What's the film that let you down from this year, do you think?
I don't know. Thor: Love and Thunder.
Or series. Yeah, probably Thor: Love and Thunder, yeah.
100%.
Series for me?
Series, isn't it?
Probably anything fucking Netflix put out.
House of Dragons.
Yeah, that's fair. Alright.
Both disappointing.
Should we move on to games then? The final section of this one, because we tend to
before I turn into
I'm fucking trying to keep like as much light as I can. It is just not happening.
I'm just floated ahead. It's happened, so it will be.
All right, okay. Let's try and get this smashed out then. Let's go for the wonderful games. You just becoming a floating head. Quickly, before he disappears.
Quickly, before I get decapitated completely.
So what have you been playing then, good sir? Anything interesting? I'm fucking starving as well.
I don't know. I've not really been playing too much recently. I've wrote down best of 2022 and stuff like that.
Yeah.
This year for me has been all about kind of, since the latter half of it, I suppose, catching up on other games that I've missed, like Death Stranding and Ghost of Tsushima and stuff like that on the games catalogue. So I've been kind of enjoying doing that. So, and any game I have bought this year has been always kind of mediocre. I've not actually bought a AAA amazing game. I know I bought Alien Fireteam Elite, Dying Light 2.
Oh God.
So I kind of bought all the average games, which I enjoyed at the
Elite.
time, but I kind of quickly get over them.
Yeah, Fireteam Elite was bitterly disappointing in my opinion. I was really excited for that game as well. Like I was so hopeful.
Yeah,
Oh,
I enjoyed it when I was playing it, but like it was a small journey, and I had enough of it by the end, and I definitely got rid of it. And I think that was the best decision. But yeah, I enjoyed loads of things on the game catalog: Death Stranding, Miles Morales, Guardians of the Galaxy. It's all catching up on things that I may have missed from previous years. So, probably favorite one I played. I don't know. It's a toss-up between Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding, because Death Stranding was probably the most surprising one that I played, because I never thought I would get into it. But yeah, beyond the delivery simulator, it's a very surprising and unique game that I was on board with.
I definitely need to play through that and finish it finally.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Fair
enough.
What would you kind of rank as your best kind of game of? Or what have you been playing recently?
I mean, I've got a few that I've written down. So obviously I platinumed AC Valhalla. Did that over yours.
Yeah.
And Goat Simulator. Managed to get them both done. I played a bit of Biomutant. Played a little bit of Biomutant. I thought it was okay. I've not played any more.
I've been kind of dabbling in it, but I've not really sat down and had a long session really.
Yeah, I can't. It's not one of those games I can sit down and really get into, like absorb myself in, I'm struggling to do that. He's becoming invisible, ladies and gentlemen. He is disappearing. Callisto Protocol, we finished that.
Yes.
What did I thought it was okay.
Yeah, I didn't really think it was too memorable. It's a nice story, kind of. Trying to think what happened in it now. What was the story? But yeah, enjoyable kind of horror. I didn't really jump in it, but that's probably because I wasn't playing it myself. I was just watching you play. Interesting combat system, which I appreciated.
I think the thing is, the weird thing for me is when I look back on it now, a lot of people have said that they hated the combat system in it, and I get it, right? I understand that a lot of people, I think, went into the game going, oh, Dead Space creator making new game? Oh, it's going to be like Dead Space. And it's like everyone went in with that look. And to be honest, it ran like arse on PC, but playing it on PS5, it was smooth sailing and it looked beautiful. I enjoyed it for what it was. I think it was a good game. I think it was a bit lackluster in kind of like boss battles, I guess, and kind of the dodging mechanic was a bit boring after a while, but yeah. I mean, I liked it for what it was. I'd give it a strong 7, maybe a 6, maybe a high 6. But
okay. That's fair. I'd probably agree with that.
High 6, fun to go into, but not something I'm really bothered.
Not really it's quite short as well, and it kind of felt like it was over before it. Whilst it started getting into the meat of it.
And no new game plus straight away. Come on.
That's what the DLC is going to be about.
Yeah.
Going back in there.
Yeah, I'll platinum it then. Silent Hill 2, I managed to finish that. That would be amazing. My mum's like, do you want food? You haven't eaten today. I'm like, please. Silent Hill 2, managed to finish that game. Almost at the end of Silent Hill 3 now, so I'll let you guys know next year what I think of that. But yeah, Silent Hill 2, fantastic game. Again, flawless, loved it. Camera angles are a bit dated, but other than that, it was very good.
Yeah.
And I'm currently playing through Ghost of Tsushima, which I am having an absolute blast with. Every time I play it, I can't stop playing it. That's why I've not played it in a while, because I've been getting shit done. So I play it, and it's like not for an hour, it's for 5. I can't stop.
I thought I might squeeze in one last game from the catalogue, Ice Age Scrat's Adventures.
Yes!
Been trying to play a little bit of that, but I don't think I've finished it before tonight when my subscription ends.
Yeah. That's fair.
But yeah. You're like, could be Happy New Year. Sean has left the chat. He cannot.
Sean's left the chat. God, oh yeah, I need to tell. I did tell you, didn't I, how to get into like your management of stuff.
You can like kind of downgrade it, but I don't know. You can't like. I think what I want to do was like stack on top of what I already had.
You can't stack on top of it. You can't extend it.
You can go down when it's finished. So I'll just sort it out tomorrow.
But right, okay, so. What were our most disappointing? What games were we most disappointed with this year?
I think we already mentioned the Aliens Fireteam. I suppose. Although I wasn't technically disappointed by it when I was playing it, but I suppose afterwards you're gonna get those feelings like, "Oh, this should have been better."
I wish it could have been more than what it was. It felt very much contrived to be grind. I could definitely tell you. I could definitely tell you my one. Fucking Saints Row. What a garbage dumpster fire. My God, I am so sad that game was so fucking awful, because now it's guaranteed they're gonna fucking close. Volition are not going to be around for much longer, because that game was so bad. And to be honest, if I'm like, not a bad game, and I did enjoy it, but I would be lying if I said I wasn't disappointed by it. Dying Light 2.
Yeah,
I loved the first game.
Mediocre.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted more from that game, and it disappointed me heavily with some of the fucking just some of the stuff that we tried to get done. Yeah, like the writing wasn't great, the acting was subpar, the fucking fighting mechanics. I don't know. Some people were arguing that they were better. I think they went backwards. Like, I couldn't kick at the same time. Like, I'm not playing a game to be fucking realistic. I'm playing the game to have fun.
Like, the parkour was excellent.
Yeah, no, the parkour was great. I really enjoyed it.
How far can that go?
Yeah, it was very disappointing. Yeah. Also, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Extraction. And not a game that I hate, but it was just, I don't think it needed to be a full game.
No.
It didn't need to be a full game that you charge 60 quid for.
There was Stray as well, which isn't a disappointing game, but that was probably one of the better ones of the year.
I enjoyed Stray.
Yeah, give it an honourable mention.
Honourable mention, Stray. Horizon Forbidden West. This will be an interesting one. Let's have a quick chat about this before we move on.
Yes.
But Forbidden West, because I believe you've played through it, right?
No.
Fuck. You're still gonna play through it. Yeah, no.
Still gotta play.
I'd rather play through.
Peeling your eyeballs.
I'd rather play through Zero Dawn than play through Forbidden West again. As someone that's platinumed both, Forbidden West is too big. It has the same fucking problem that every open world game has now. And I know people are going to be like, what do you mean it's too big? How can you have too much content? Trust me, when it is just copy and pasted around the map, it gets really fucking boring. That and AC Valhalla, not bad games, just too big for their own good. And that's why I would probably say Horizon Forbidden West was disappointing to me, because it's too big. You can have a game that is too big. You can. The puzzles are shit. They're crap. Hey, Aloy's not allowed to climb this wall. Why? She can climb every other wall. She's not allowed to climb this wall. Go and find another way. Give me a reason. Like, don't just take something away. Like, it's just things like that were very petty and annoying and just... So, not a bad game, but just too big for its own good.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. And I hope going forward that open world games aren't trying to go for scale, but instead go for quality. Like the Yakuza games. Tiny maps, shed loads to do. Like,
Yeah.
Ridiculous
Variety.
amounts. Yeah, like do that. Small amounts, shit tons of stuff. It will go better.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that would probably be my take from games this year, because I haven't played Ragnarok.
Yeah. Hopefully, when it comes next year, we've got like Hogwarts Legacy and
It's gonna
quite a
be
few big games
interesting
coming
year.
out.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting year, and hopefully it'll go well.
Yeah, I'm hoping that doesn't kind of reveal its ugly head of being like a bug-ridden mess.
Yeah, I mean, what we've got, we've also got Star Wars Jedi Survivor, which is the sequel to the other one. We've got Dead Island 2, finally. Fucking Starfield, Redfall, Assassin's Creed Mirage, although I can give a toss. But there's a lot of games that are like, obviously you've got Resident Evil 4 remake and Silent Hill 2 remakes. They're coming, which hopefully they'll be great. Dead Space the remake, Wolf Among Us 2. Wolf Among Us 2. Yes, finally a sequel to the fucking amazing series Wolf Among Us. So yeah, a lot of good ones for next year. What's your one that you're probably most interested about? Doesn't have to be your the one you're like super excited about. What's the one that's caught your eye and you're kind of hoping for?
I don't know really. That's a difficult one.
Yeah.
I'm not really excited about.
Yeah, there's quite a lot.
Bland, boring betting.
Oh, that's nothing wrong with that though.
Probably Hogwarts, because I am playing through the Hogwarts Lego game.
That's true. Yeah, playing with Robin.
Yeah. It's very fun at the moment, actually.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
it'd be interesting to, on the heels of that, play a proper open world RPG.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping they do service to Hogwarts. Oh my god, I'm so invisible.
I know. Look at me now. Like you can barely see my beard. Like, this is what we do for you people.
I'm going to have to sit like really close.
I literally can't.
Sir.
Sir, I'm not your manager. But yeah, so if I had to choose a game, Alan Wake 2. I have waited for Alan Wake 2 for so long, and the fact that it's meant to be coming out next year makes me very happy. So, yeah, I'm excited for that. But yeah,
probably a million things I missed. But
it's the end of the year. I'm tired because I've been busy all day. Sean's
it's New Year's Eve, guys.
Yeah, come on, give us a fucking break. We'll come back and it'll be better, I promise. But yeah, no, it's been fun. I've enjoyed this year. Have you enjoyed doing the podcast this year, Sean?
Yes, this year has been a very productive year for podcasts.
Yes,
We've gone through
definitely.
many episodes, and hope we provided a bit of entertainment for you, or some slight comedic relief, or a bit of insight into our lives and into the world of gaming and news and stuff.
To everyone that has been a part of this podcast, to everyone who has joined us on this adventure, to everyone who is new to us and has joined this year, whether it be family, friends, any of you, thank you very much for watching. We love doing this. This is why we've been doing it now. Next year will be our 3rd year.
Yes.
Jesus.
It started from COVID.
2020.
It just forgets to end.
3 years. I can't believe it. 2.5 years we've been doing this. Sean, can you believe that? Can you believe it?
I know. How much talking and researching have we been doing? Quite a few hours worth, and editing, of course.
Yeah. But yeah.
But,
thank you guys for watching. Much love to you faces.
Hope you had a wonderful New Year's celebration.
Absolutely.
We'll have more content for you in the new year.
Yeah. And be responsible. Take care of yourselves.
Yes. No walking home alone.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, motherfuckers. And we'll see you in 2 weeks for the next, the first time we'll be recording in 2023. So,
yes.
see you guys soon.
Have a good one if you can still see us.
Bye-bye.